You Russ and Sarah?
Oh yeah.
Ready.
All right. Well, off we go. Hi, everyone. My name's Lance Morgan. Thank you for joining us here in Earth Day week. Marine Conservation Institute is really happy to be part of a lot of Earth Day things going on around the world, but every day is Earth Day and Ocean Day for us. And so we're really happy to tell you a little bit more about the work we do. If you've been following us, you know that we're dedicated to protecting the ocean's most important places. And we do that through a combination of science, advocacy, and a little bit of, just kind of helping support the whole entire community. And we do that through a number of projects, including something you might know of called the Marine Protection Atlas, where we monitor progress towards the global biodiversity framework target of 30 by 30. So we started this week a new campaign, and Russ is going to tell you about it in just a minute. But we're really hoping to build a tidal wave of support. As I mentioned, there's a target out there. It's called 30 by 30. What it means is protecting 30% of nature, both ocean and land, by 2030. It's really critical that we hit this target in order to protect biodiversity, stem the loss of biodiversity around the world, address climate resilience, and make sure that our oceans are actually recovering and not continuing to decline. So we know that it's a big task. It's a lot more than us. We want to engage as many people as we can around the world. And so we're happy that you're here to learn more about this. And so we'll start off first with Russell, who'll tell you a little bit more about the campaign and actually show you how you can actually map one of the places important to you. Maybe it's important to you because you were there as a kid, but maybe, and more importantly, maybe it's important to you because in the future, you want to be able to take your own kids there and share with them the story of why you love this place on the ocean. It's a special place. The only way we're going to get 30 by 30 is if we really inspire a lot more people to get engaged in ocean conservation. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Russ Moffitt. He's our Director of Strategic Partnerships, and he has got a lot of places in the ocean he's been to. So I'm excited to hear about one of the places he loves.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Lance. Happy Earth Week to all of you again. This is exciting. As Lance mentioned, we're kicking off this Map Your Love for the Ocean campaign. We started on Earth Day. We're going to go all the way through and blow past World Ocean Day on June 8th and go right into our upcoming Blue Park Awards, which will happen at the UN Ocean Conference just a few days after that. But this is the news cycle is well, sometimes it feels way out of our control.
Yeah.
And if we spend too much time thinking about it, it really can get us down. But the ocean, marine environments, coasts, the beach, anything like that can be a real source of inspiration on any day. I think this is a good week and a good weekend to go out and enjoy nature. If you have coastal area near you, go enjoy that. If you're landlocked, just get out anywhere you can and find that solace, find some togetherness, find some community, whether that's a ecological community or a human community. And it really comes down to the fact that we will really only protect those things that we love. The good news is there is a whole lot of stuff to love in the ocean. So much of our planet is ocean and marine environment, but the wonders never cease. There's so much hidden beauty that very few people have ever witnessed, and in the history of humankind. So we've started this map at. You can go to love-ocean.marine-conservation.org and add your stories to our map. And let me share my screen here, and I can show it for you, and we can explore it together. Give me 1 second while I choose the correct window here. Okay. All right, we should be going here.
Oh, cool.
All right. Yeah, so when you first come to the map, love-ocean.marine-conservation.org, you're invited to map your love for the ocean, and you can see in these orange heart pins are blue parks. They are part of a network that Marine Conservation Institute has been stewarding for about a decade. or a little more than a decade. It now encompasses more than 1% of the entire ocean. And I don't know, how many countries are represented in this network, Sarah?
23. Well, actually 25 because this includes our blue sparks.
Wonderful. And blue sparks are
Blue Sparks are collaborations with ocean leaders in local ocean leaders all over the globe who are working on marine protected areas to achieve the Blue Park standard. So we're trying to help them accelerate their progress to meet the Blue Park standard, and they're well on their way.
wonderful. So we invite all of you to come here. You can click on and enjoy stories from all of these, from Blue Parks and Blue Sparks to in blue, you'll see stories that have been contributed by members of the community, anyone at large. So we invite you to fill out all these coastlines and much of these areas inside the big open ocean basins with your stories. I'm gonna add one more here for you. So um, there was a little bit of news, at least in our like kind of eco circle, about the Pacific Islands Heritage National Monument being opened for commercial fishing by the Trump administration. Um, Now, this was protected by previous administrations, the Obama and Bush administrations, and um, seeing this rolled back is a little disheartening, but I'm going to add a little bit of inspiration here. So you can click on this little blue icon and you'll go into a little bit different map interface, but I can actually I have no idea if, here we go. Did it know where it was? No, I don't think it did. It should be in here somewhere. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna try that again just because here.
So while Russ is looking at that, I'll tell everybody that Kingman Reef is a part of Pacific Island Heritage Monument. There it is, right next to Palmyra, which is what I was going to talk about. So some people have had the great fortune to be there. Russ is one of them. But we've been working with the Kingman Reef folks for a long time to try and clean up some shipwrecks and really improve this habitat. So seeing this project, seeing this proposal to have protections roll back after almost 20 years of trying to improve the management of this place is disheartening, but we're not, it's not over yet. It's just an executive order. We don't know exactly how that will play out ultimately. And I think we have a lot of people who are passionate and supportive of this area, and you can certainly add your voice to this, and either through our website or others, find more places for you to engage and help us continue supporting the Pacific Heritage Marine National Monument.
Yeah, so Kingman Reef is, I don't know, it's almost 1,000 miles south of Hawaii, and thousands more miles away from anywhere else, pretty much as far from anything as you can get, but holds some really beautiful treasures. Not only, wild atoll in the middle of nowhere, teeming with sharks and rays and big things and just lots of reef fish and healthy corals, but lots of these Tridacna clams. Here we have Tridacna squamosa. You'll find in some sections of the reef just, a um, bejeweled city of clams in every direction. You can just sit and float over them, and
Yep.
every individual has a slightly different pattern and a different color, and so there's emerald greens and azure blues and
Hey,
everything.
Russ, I grew up watching Johnny Quest, and it was always like fear that a giant clam was going to grab you and swallow you whole. Did you ever think about that while you were diving there and swimming around these giant clams?
I think I was probably more worried about reef sharks, wondering why scientists showed up here all of a sudden, after 2 years of quiet and solitude. So I think my mind was more on what they were going to do, I think, about us than on the clams. But
Yeah.
most of these Tridacna squamosas are not that big that I would um, be too worried. The the bigger
All right.
clams
So they're
would be
probably not
another worry, but
human eaters. Yeah. Okay. All right.
yeah, I mean,
Thanks for dispelling that
I
myth.
don't like to bother things on the reef if I don't have to. So sticking my finger in on the mantle and disturbing the clams, one, it takes away the beautiful display that they're they're opening up for you. And two, I don't know. I think they're a little too slow, but you could probably, you could test it.
Fair warning, please do not harass
Yeah,
wildlife as in
don't.
Florida.
Yeah, I would. I don't recommend it. Just enjoy the beauty. So this is one of my
Yeah.
favorite places to um,
Yeah.
to just enjoy like the splendor of nature, like in its just most raw form. There's um, there's so much right now that is being taken over by AI, and one thing that AI is, not taking the job of our ability to be amazed um, by the world. So
Yeah.
that is something we all have. We all can share with each other. We invite you to come and do that too, and add your pins to this map.
Right. Right. So Sarah, we see that this has actually been a blue spark for a few years. I know it's taken the federal government many years to actually stand up the management plan, and even as we've cooperated with them and tried to get our colleagues to finalize that. But tell us a little bit more about some of the blue sparks, or one of your favorite blue sparks.
Yeah, well, the blue sparks are all my favorites because these are places that are that have local champions and have the ambition to create great conservation areas and to bolster their communities with the benefits that marine conservation brings to their communities. So I'm really excited about all of the blue sparks that are on this map. As well as the blue parks. But I thought I'd talk a little bit about how excited I am about the campaign to raise funding, because the funding that we're raising right now with this campaign really goes to supporting the blue sparks and blue parks.
Mhm.
This part of this funding goes to grants for our blue parks and blue sparks to upgrade infrastructure and implement new educational outreach opportunities and purchase technology for surveillance and enforcement, and also purchase upgrade materials for being able to monitor ecosystems and know whether the management activities that they're implementing are working and doing what they hope they want to do. So over the last 2 years, we've actually been able to disperse about 140,000 US dollars to blue parks and blue sparks, about 17 of them across grants and prizes. Which is really, really exciting. And so I'm really excited to continue that and to continue to fund these sorts of things, both in our Blue Sparks and our Blue Parks. Um, I think it's a big, I don't know, a big part of what we're
Right.
doing
Right.
in terms of really accelerating this progress on improving the management and effectiveness of MPAs alongside the coverage of MPAs.
Right.
We know that we need more marine protection around the world to revitalize ocean ecosystems, but it only works if it's good protection. And so Blue Parks is really our opportunity to make marine science and what we know from marine science about what makes a marine protected area work right, and translate that for local leaders, decision makers, and managers
Yeah.
to ensure that their marine protected areas are set up to work right.
Yeah.
So, but of course, they need one of the big sort of challenges for most marine protected area managers and decision makers is a lack of capacity and funding.
Right. What I really love
Another,
about
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say what I really love about this is that, especially right now, where we see, the U.S. saying, "Oh, we're not going to provide any support to our, partners overseas and everything else, we've been able to build this program that goes right to local communities and it addresses their needs. It's not like we're going with an agenda or anything. It's like, yep, we know we need to we want to improve this area or protect this area or manage this area or teach about this area. And so we're able to just kind of, give funds right over to them and let them, kind of do what they know is the best in their community. And I think that's a growing trend in conservation, but certainly it's one that I'm really proud that we help out. Russ, you had something you were going to add
Yeah, I
in?
want to say anyone out there listening, if you want to get involved and help support the Blue Parks Network and improve the face of ocean conservation around the world, you can donate at our love-ocean marine conservation .org map. There's a little donate button at the bottom. You can go to marine-conservation.org right now and donate on our website directly. Every dollar that you give today will 100% is going to go to those managers and folks on the water that are putting in place these conservation projects right now. So you can get the seal of approval that you are bringing blue sparks and blue parks into the new age. But essentially, these are the world's best protected places, and more importantly, the people that have pledged to keep them that way and to meet those expectations. They are just on the cutting edge and inspirations for marine protected area efforts happening worldwide. The more that we can boost their exposure, the brighter their light will shine, and we can bring others to join them in their quest for
And one
really
really,
excellent.
yeah, one really cool example that all three of us have direct experience with that we got to go visit this past year is a Blue Spark led by a local organization called Ocean Revolution Mozambique in Mozambique that has facilitated the implementation and the leadership of local communities around this huge bay to create a network of marine protection for really what amounts to the nursery grounds for the fish that they rely on. These are protected areas that cover important and really sensitive mangrove ecosystems and seagrass ecosystems in the bay. And they work with a number of local communities. We were able to work with a funder to get them a boat. And, that has been a huge benefit for them. And we got to see that benefit in person last fall when we got to go visit in Humbom Bay and work with our partners at Ocean Revolution Mozambique. So that's a really a great example of one that we've actually got to see in person. I don't get to visit all of the Blue Spark collaborations, but that's one we got to go to.
Yeah, that was a fantastic experience all around, and the dedication of that local group there was kind of mind blowing. And you might ask, what's the significance of a local community? But Mozambique, as you said, has some of the largest areas of mangrove and seagrass. And so getting their local communities to actually, embrace protection there is not only a local benefit, obviously that's what motivates them, but, it's a global benefit as well. They're super important areas for climate change. And, it's that blue carbon and, they become a model, interestingly enough, for, other countries because they're doing such a good job of engaging folks. And I couldn't be, just more excited about that group, and they're really terrific. So those are the kinds of groups that we look to support. So before we with your funding, and so yep, that's what part of what this whole campaign is about. But before we wrap up today, Sarah, we are gearing up towards a big announcement here in June. So a
Yes.
little bit more about that.
Yeah, so this campaign runs basically to up to the 2025 Blue Park Awards announcement. We'll have an awards event at the United Nations Ocean Conference in Nice, France on the 12th of June. So for anybody who's going to be headed there, who's going to be around Nice, we'll have an event in the Blue Zone on the 12th of June. We'll have a second event on the 13th of June in the Green Zone in the Costa Rican Pavilion. We're really excited to celebrate and add 4 new blue parks to our network. That's all I'll say about that for now. Uh, and and actually announce a new Blue Spark as well. So we're really excited about that announcement. If you're not headed to Nice, France, no problem. You will see the announcement all over our website, our blog, all of our socials. So stay tuned for the big announcement for 4 new Blue Park Awards coming in June.
Well, there's also another nice tie-in because Sarah, what year were the first Blue Park Awards given out?
Ooh, 2017.
Which means we have our first group of blue parks that are coming in through a 5-year review, and we get to re-celebrate their longevity and the inspiration that they provided to, every successive generation of parks that are added to the network.
That's right. We know that marine protected areas accrue more and more benefits, conservation benefits, that local communities, benefit from the longer they're in place. And so maintaining the Blue Park standard over time is really critical to being an effective marine protected area. So we have this process to do a review every 5 years for our blue parks, do another deep dive, and check in on whether these blue parks are able to maintain their blue park standard and keep achieving the blue park standard. So these are our enduring blue parks that have now made it through a 5-year review, and we get to celebrate their sort of enduring success. So we'll also be acknowledging them at the UN Ocean Conference in June during our events, and we'll be rolling out some more about their stories through our blogs and social media starting in June and continuing
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Well, fantastic. I think we're going to wrap, but this was just kind of a first shot at doing this here on the live stream with folks. So stay tuned. We're going to come back. You'll hear more from other staff members and colleagues in the coming weeks. So hope if you want to hear more about different projects and different stories, but we got you introduced to all this today, introduced ourselves a little bit more to doing this, and I think it went really well. So I appreciate everyone stopping by and hearing a little bit from our team. And look forward to hearing more from you, and any feedback would be great. But yeah, uh, keep an eye out, and I think we'll be doing this at least every week, maybe a little bit more often over the next month or 6 weeks or so. So all the way up until that Blue Park announcement in June. All right. So thanks, Russ. Thanks, Sarah. Great job. And everybody behind the scenes, thank you as well.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, stay inspired.